Hello, kumusta? Assalamualaikum. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Magandang araw, mga kababayan sa panig ng mundo man po kayo naroroon. Sana po ay nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan sampu na po ng ating mga pamilya. Favor lang po, mga kababayan, pa-subscribe naman po sa ating munting channel at papindot na rin po ng bell na sa ganun ay maging updated po tayo sa ating mga bagong upload ng mga balitang kapupulutan po ng information, mahalagang impormasyon sa ating pang araw-araw. Zayan Vlog TV po. So today this video is as usual po mga kababayan, ito pa rin po yung kasalukuyang kaganapan sa bansang China. Sa kasalukuyan po mga kababayan, ultimo po ang mga officialis ng CCP Communist Party, mga official nilang na namamatay at ang kanilang pamilya ay nahirapan na po sa pagkuha ng coffin o kabaong sa kadahilan ng napakadami na po ang nasasabi sa kanila. So panoorin po natin ito mga kababayan at nang mismo makita natin sa international news ang kaganapan sa bansang China.
The COVID pandemic infection waves recently returned to China, causing the medical and funeral systems to collapse. The National Health and Medical Commission, or NHC, said on January 14th that 59,938 deaths related to the pandemic in hospitals across the country occurred from December to January. However, Chinese-language media outlet Daji Yuan learned that the pandemic had taken the lives of numerous older adults in rural areas. Many are not included in the death toll, as they died at home. Reporters interviewed two Shanxi-based residents, Lin and Liu, on January 16th. According to Lin, the pandemic situation in the village is severe at the moment, and there are many infection cases. In her village, every person has 4 or 5 acres of land, but it was not enough separation to prevent the spread. All the villagers who died were older adults, and the remains of most were buried on their land. Lin revealed that people had to go back to the village for funerals because there weren't enough slots, especially after the deaths of some retired village public officials who got preferential treatment. Even so, they had to line up for 8 to 10 days. The other resident, Liu, said there were a lot of infections in the community. All the members of one neighboring family died. As he went outside, he was shocked because nobody was in the area. He said that the staff of the local functional departments is paralyzed. No one goes to work, and the neighborhood committee is closed. Not only Shanxi, but residents in Jiangsu also experienced the same situation. These satellite images are from Nanning funeral homes and the surrounding area in Jiangsu province. According to a Jiangsu-based resident, 3 of her relatives died on the same day. Due to the pandemic, she and her family rushed to register online in the early morning to ensure that her relatives could be cremated. According to Bloomberg, the World Health Organization is working on the latest data. However, they urged China to share more detailed information, including on subvariants circulating throughout the nation. In talks with China's NHC director Ma Xiaowei, WHO CEO Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus emphasized that China should increase cooperation and transparency. Jin Dongyan, a virologist at Hong Kong University, said a more timely, open, and transparent sharing of COVID statistics with the Chinese people and the rest of the world is long overdue.
The COVID pandemic in China is continuing. In the past few days, many Chinese media outlets have reported that experts and professors who served the CCP have passed away. Lu Mengsheng, a former member of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, exposed the seriousness of the current pandemic situation in China and called on the Beijing government to solve the problem based on the facts and oppose the rule of the country by lies. On January 11th, Qian Guanghua, a member of the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, a scholar receiving a grant from the State Council and a professor at Anhui University, passed away at the age of 93. On the same day, Luo Xijun, a CCP member and former vice president of Northwestern Industrial University, passed away at 100. On January 12th, NetEase reported that Song Yu, former director of the Animal Husbandry Department of Sichuan Agricultural University, passed away at 93. On the same day, Jimu News reported Gui Chi-chuan, 83 years old, a professor at the Academy of Philosophy of Wuhan University, and Lu Shu-liang, 68, former vice president of the Television Academy of Communication University of China, died in turn. Before his death, Song Yu enjoyed special subsidies from the Chinese government and many deputy bureaucrats' benefits. Gui Chi-chuan is a member of the Jusan Society, a democratic party of the People's Republic of China, and was considered an active member of the United Front of the Chinese government at Wuhan University. Lu Shu-liang published a national social science project, The History of Chinese Cinema, which contains many films praising the CCP. On January 13th, two CCP members, Mao Ji, 91, an academician of the Chinese Academy of Engineering and a professor at Wuhan University, and Zhang Yufeng, 43, an architect teacher at the South China University of Technology, died of illness. On January 14th, Zhao Yaoi, the director of the Health Department of the National Health Commission of China, announced that from December 8th last year to January 12th this year, there were 59,938 deaths nationwide due to COVID-19 infection. However, on January 7th, China's National Health Commission announced only 30 deaths. There is a vast difference between these two figures. Furthermore, the actual number of deaths from COVID may be shockingly higher. VOA stated in the title of the related report that the figure is up to you to believe it or not. Lu Mengsheng, a former member of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, revealed to Da Jiwan that the domestic COVID pandemic is very serious. Among his friends in Beijing, except for a former member of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection who is not infected with COVID, all my friends in various departments, including the National Development and Reform Commission and the Foreign Commission, have all been infected with COVID, so much that many relevant departments were unable to hold meetings because all the people there tested positive. Lu's relatives in China also contracted COVID-19. There was even a line 0.6 to 1.2 miles long in front of the Yinhe Cemetery in Guangzhou to register for cremation and burial, he said. Lu said there is currently a shortage of coffins in China. Lieutenant General Yu Yongbo, former director of the General Department of Politics, after his death couldn't even find a coffin and had to use the paper one. In addition, it takes many different ways, including relations with the Department of Veterans Affairs, to be able to be cremated in time. For the common people, the speculators constantly bargain. Just transporting the body to funeral home costs 38,500 yuan, nearly $5,700, not a penny less. Finally, Lu Mengsheng criticized that falsifying pandemic mortality data would only discredit the government and expose it to the Tacitus trap, a theory describing a situation where a government is not popular and is an outcast. Recent delays in paying wages in China have caused employees to do everything possible to defend their rights, including protests. A Twitter account named Feng Ximin tweeted a story about Luoshuan County People's Hospital in Yan'an, Shanxi. The hospital has not paid social insurance for more than 300 temporary workers for many years. They didn't even pay medical insurance for the most essential staff. Therefore, the employees formed groups to defend their rights. As can be seen in the video, staff gathered at the entrance. Then, a group of police officers arrived at the scene and tried to disperse the protesting staff. They were suppressed, threatened, dismissed, and suspended by the director, who checked on the employees' mobile phones in turn and harassed the employees' family members. At the end of the video, some people shouted, "The police beat us!" According to some netizens, authorities claimed to serve their people but couldn't guarantee basic protection for medical staff. Meanwhile, another resident said this regime went against their people. Another resident replied to Feng Ximin. He said it was like forcing people to the edge. A few days ago, nurses at the 3rd People's Hospital of Datong City, Shanxi Province, cried out for not being paid and work overload on January 4th. A nurse said the medical staff wasn't only sick but distressed. They have not been paid but have to work for 15 hours a day. These two events show that nurses and medical staff are exhausted and distressed when China is battling the pandemic. On January 16th, Twitter user Woman We posted a remarkable video on her YouTube channel. The video recorded a request for help from a young person who participated in the protest event on the Liangma Bridge in Beijing on November 27, 2022. It is believed that she made the video around the Christmas holiday at the end of 2022. The young woman in the video is Cao Xixin, 26. She graduated with a master's degree from the Renmin University of China and is currently the editor of Peking University Press. According to Cao, on the evening of November 27, 2022, Cao Xixin and her 5 friends went to the banks of the Liangma River in Beijing to memorialize the victims of the fire in Urumqi with candles, flowers, notes, and sheets of white paper with some verses written on it. On November 30th, the 6 of them were taken to the police station and detained for 24 hours. According to Cao, at the station they received the so-called education from the police. But since December 18th, they have been arrested one by one. On December 24th, 2022, before Christmas, Cao discovered that her remaining companions were all arrested and lost contact with them. Feeling afraid, she recorded.
Kita na natin yan mga kababayan, no? Marami nang nagsasabi sa pamahalaan ng China na maging honest, maging tapat sila sa pagbabalita. Huwag nilang itago ang tunay na pangyayari sa kanilang bansa. Tingnan nyo, hindi nila binabalita yan, yung mga matataas na opisyal nilang mga namamatay dahil sa virus na ito, no? Yung iba kasi dyan ay naglilik lang yung balita sa pamamagitan ng social media, yung mga pamilya mismo, yung mga netizen mismo, no, na silang nagsasabi ng tunay na pangyayari sa kanilang lugar. Diyan sa mga iba't ibang parte ng China, probinsya, ay nakita natin, narinig natin na mayroon sa kanila na ang kanilang tatlo sa kanilang pamilya, membro ng kanilang pamilya ay namatay sa loob ng isang araw, no? So, diyan pa lang po mga kababayan, makikita po natin kung gaano talaga kalala ang kalagayan po ng bansang China. So muli, wag po sana tayong magsawa na ipanalangin ang ating kapwa-tao, bagamat hindi natin sila kalahi, ay tao pa rin po sila, no? So sabi ko nga paulit-ulit na lang na wag sana tayong magsawa na ipagdasal na sana malampasan nila yan at wag nang kumalat pa sa ibang parte ng mundo, lalong-lalo na po sa ating minamahal ng bansang Pilipinas.